Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another prepared 3D version 5 video stream, actually. Our first stream in P3D version 5. Yesterday we uploaded a video, was trying out some of the settings and the newly released FSLabs A320 on a flight from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, McCarran. When you get a chance, go ahead and check that video out. But today we're going to try a stream. We are still tweaking and doing everything we can to achieve the best performance values, as well as keep our sim looking aesthetically pleasing, but it has been a struggle. You guys will be able to witness that firsthand. We've knocked some of the settings a bit down, but we're still having a hard time keeping up here, and my PC is no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. So it's just that VRAM issue that neither hotfix 1 or 2 has addressed, but anyway, we're going to deal with it. We are doing a flight from New York's John F. Kennedy down to Orlando, Florida. In cruise, we'll get to talk to you about some of the findings that we've been able to witness so far. John, what's up, man? Some of the findings we've been able to witness so far, some of the pros, the cons, definitely more pros than cons. As you can see, oh, nope, there goes the hung. That's what I'm talking about. We can't get this thing stable in certain airports. So give me a second, let me adjust these settings again and I'll be right back. This is what everyone has been essentially complaining about, more or less. So I've got my settings pretty high. What I'm doing is incrementally bumping it down as we go and seeing what sticks. Yesterday was relatively smooth out of Los Angeles to Las Vegas. That's an area that's typically very heavy on performance, but we didn't have any issues. Looks like we are having issues here at Kennedy today. The very first flight I did in V5, there were no issues out at Kennedy, so it's definitely hit or miss. It is raining, it is overcast in New York. So that could be a part of it. Let's do this. Let's continue to play with our settings. So we want to do Kennedy. And what I have found is you cannot really take anyone's settings for granted. So you can ask around and see what other people are doing, even with similar computer specs as you, but this sim is not behaving relatively streamlined across the board. And I've got folks with, you know, weaker computer than me being able to run higher settings, so it's really all over the place, and we're still learning a lot here. So let's see, I've got anti-stropic filtering 16x, texture resolution 4096. I know Q8 Simulations is running that at 8, but I really don't want to bump that down. Let's see what we can mess with here on the world. Scenery definitions, we've got level radius ultra. Let's knock that to high. Tessellation factor high. I don't want to bring that down any further. Mesh resolution, I'm told in order for ORBX to look remotely good, you need to have that at 5, so I don't want to knock that down. We can uncheck use high resolution terrain textures, although I don't think that has any issues on performance, so we'll leave that unchecked. Scenery complexity, this right here might be the reason I forgot to bring this down, so we're gonna make this actually normal. Autogen, I want that on high. Autogen vegetation, we'll make that normal. We'll make building normal. This right here will kill your sim even in V4, so that probably was our issue there. We'll bring that down. We'll bring special effects down. We have no reflections checked. Level of detail, we'll go high on that one. I am liking enhanced atmospherics. I'm liking True Sky. It has its issues, but overall I think it's on its way to something really nice, so I'm gonna leave that. Shadow quality, we'll make that medium. Dynamic reflections, I have that off. All right, let's see. Let's see what that gives us. One thing I will say, the sim loads extremely fast, even with all your ORBX installed. You've got this thing on an SSD and it's lightning fast compared to the other prepared 3D versions. It's even faster than XPlane. So Kennedy, just to give you a reference, I've got New York City, Juricki Designs New York City X installed. I've got FS Dream Team Kennedy. I've got Juricki Designs Newark. I've got Latvia Far LaGuardia. All of those sceneries and airports are loading at one time. No matter what sim you in, it's going to bog it down. So okay, we're back up. I'm just glad that happened before I even got started here and setting the aircraft up. Let's take a look now. Okay, we've been able to knock our VRAM down much more. Let's continue to pan around. Usually when you pan around, you start to see your VRAM spike. Yep, there it is. So when you look towards downtown, when you look towards New York City, you definitely see the spikes there. Continue to go up, knocked back down again. We'll slowly turn towards Kennedy. Not Kennedy, New York City. Yep, it's spiking again. So that's what you've got to watch for. You definitely want to, and we can probably go even a little bit more conservative on our settings but we will leave it for now. We've got FusePick autosave, FSUI PC autosave. I'm not too worried about it. If it continues to happen, I will unfortunately just cancel the stream and continue to play with our settings offline, and see what happens from there. I will have to get my pre-departure clearance from New York again. That V-Pilot kicked us off when the sim crashed, so no worries on that. Pretty smooth right now. All right, so let's get going here. You know, I'm still not liking where I am at VRAM wise. Let's see. Let's knock these settings down a little bit more. We'll go to 8x. We'll leave that on ultra. I think that's fine. That didn't do too much. All right, let's get stuff going here. We are in, again, the newly released FSLabs A320 series. Compatibility update for V5. I mean, listen, I get what Lockheed was trying to do here, and overall, you know, outside of the VRAM issues, the sim is 10 times better. I mean, you're getting stutter-free and smooth graphics, high FPS in areas that you traditionally would not have seen that. But in doing so, they have definitely screwed with the ability for you to, you know, bump your settings up to where you would normally have them in your previous versions of Prepared 3D. All right, let's see. Got that. That. CDPLC has been one of the features added to the A320, so hopefully we'll be able to get to see some of that going. We are JetBlue 183. We've got a zero fuel weight today of 116.3. And 21.5. Go to ATSU, ATC menu. Nope, we want AOC menu. And it's JetBlue. 183. Estimated time en route, we're looking at 2 hours and 59 minutes. This flight is a little bit longer than usual today, due to some pretty nasty thunderstorms down to the south of us. So once we brief our flight, I'll show you guys all of that, but we've been redispatched or rerouted, if you will, due to those storms. Official flight plan data. Fuel 21,528. And I am going to manually fuel this. I don't feel like waiting on that GSX fuel truck today. We are already well behind schedule, so we will do everything we can to keep things moving here. Let's actually go ahead and load that fuel now. 21,528. Good stuff. Load sheet 116137. Those are the numbers that I'm most concerned with. That looks good. The rest of that looks good. We'll accept. No delay expected. So those numbers look good as well. We'll actually get our catering trucks. Let's see what that looks like. And we can board at 14:45. We'll align on ref, confirm align. Can get rid of that.
United up 4 right, United 1765. Total 1727 heavy, cross runway 22 right at Juliet, and then join Bravo to the ramp also.
Maybe
Juliet,
it's
Bravo,
your last airport,
right
the truck came fast for me.
Heavy,
You mean the fuel truck, John? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I can't be bothered today to wait for it. What else? I gotta call New York for my new PDC. New York, good afternoon. JetBlue 183, can you resend our PDC, please?
JetBlue 183, New York, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, of course, also recenter.
Thanks. And there it is. Alright, so we can expect 22 right for the departure, that's what I thought. And the rest of our routing is unchanged. So that's cool. I'm still not liking where my memory is at. D's 5 out of 22 right. It'll be the Candor transition. We'll insert that into Orlando. They're landing south today. We can expect a 18 right via the Bugs 4 arrival Shimp transition. That Ds5 departure is a vectored departure, so we'll leave manual in there. We'll get our wind request. Another company message. It's fine. Let's just step through this flight plan. Can clear this discon right here after candor. We are direct mule on the J60 airway. Again, this is a hell of a routing. Because, like I said, we have storms in the area. Kennedy. Our engine out procedure. We'll come back in if we need to return into 22F. No star, no via. We'll just ask for vectors, and that looks good. Our wind data is in. Double check our distance, 1257, estimated fuel on board upon arrival. That all looks good. Looks good. We've got our passengers boarding, and we are spiking again on the CPU.
Bearings 1146, 11 mile airspace, radar services are terminated, frequency change approved, have a go.
Change approved, thank you for your service, sir. 1146, good day.
I'm sorry, not CPU, GPU. Our GPU memory is spiking. Alright, meanwhile, let's set up our EFB. JetBlue 183. We're going all the way up to 380 today because we're pretty light. These 5 candor. Into Orlando. 18 right. Really bugs for, and I think it was Shimp. 22 right. Wow, guys, look at that. It just started pouring rain. Holy mackerel. Thunderstorm right above us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free, and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a proper...
United 1755, fly present heading, vectors to final, descend and maintain 5000.
Present heading to maintain 5000 at 1755.
Some wicked thunderstorm clouds. Like how the rain looks. Yeah, it does look good. Although I don't know if that's natively V5 or Precipit FX that I'm using. But it does. It's coming down a little bit more realistically.
American 1153, contact Boston Center 134.7, also.
And that's another bug with ActiveSky so far. So once the weather changes drastically, it knocks off your enhanced turbulence. It knocks off your true sky setting. So right now, what you guys are looking at is not true sky. This is
American 1153.
The default.
Say again.
American 1153, contact Boston Center
Technically, true sky is default too, right? But
take care.
this is the what your sky looks like without the enhanced
134.7, American
atmospheric.
1153. Have a nice day.
Your precip
Air
doesn't look
Force
that good.
915, I have a
Yeah,
small
so there must
reroute
be
for you,
something
advise
they've
ready
done
to
in
copy.
V5, John.
Air Force 915, clear Boston Airport, present position, direct Kennedy VOR, Juliet Foxtrot Kilo, to resume the Roebuck free arrival from there.
I hate the way those clouds look. So, while we're waiting on, it looks like baggage, let's... Probably gonna regret this, but let's...
Thank you, be back.
put True Sky back on. See, got knocked off. Let me see here. So if you guys are familiar with RD Preset, they have a nice guide on showing you how to set up your sim for both V4 and V5 actually, but V5 is their obvious latest guide, and they really take a lot of time going into detail around, which one of these settings actually chews up your CPU and which one of these settings actually chew up your GPU. So if you take a look at the guide, the items in red are GPU dependent. So the higher you have these settings here in red, it's really going to mess with your GPU. So I'm going to go ahead and bump some of these down and then see what happens from there. Because again, I truly do like True Sky. It definitely has some work, but I think for the most part it looks good.
United 1755, turn left at angle 140, to maintain 3000.
Left heading 140,
On
to
the
maintain
world,
3000, United 1755.
Tessellation factor has a strain on your GPU, or can. We'll knock that down to 60. Tessellation factor will go medium. I'll probably regret that. I like the way the sim looks with tessellation factor higher, but whatever. We don't have those checked. So, these items here, believe it or not, are not GPU dependent, so I could probably bump them
New York
back.
Center, Canada Air 2234 with you, flight level 370.
Canada Air 2234, New York Center, good afternoon, item.
Alright, let's see what happens.
Canada Air 2234, thanks for the contact 10 miles north of Phillipsburg, New York, for level 370. Cross Bund.
Welcome to V5, folks, where you spend an hour on the ground trying to tweak your settings before you even take off.
United 1755, turn left heading 070, intercept runway 4 right, localizer.
Okay, we managed to lower our GPU.
United 1755, just confirm that's 4 right, sir.
Correction,
By
4 right,
lot,
localizer,
actually.
heading 070, United 1755.
But now you can
Thank
see the
Canada Air 2234, did you copy the last instruction, sir?
unfortunately.
Say again for Canada Air
Again,
2234.
ActiveSky is still beta.
Canada
It's
Air
still trying to
2234,
figure out how
cross
to play
Bund,
well with
to maintain 8,000, display altimeter 2986.
V5 and True Sky.
Cross bunks at maintain 8,000.
Let me restart.
And the
ActiveSky
altimeter
and see if
is
we can get
29906.
that rain back.
Canada Air 2234, it's 2986, sir.
29986, Canada Air 2234.
Why is it trying to get me to take a survey? Give me a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board.
United
hell is that?
1755, cross ready after about
Locker,
2,800, clear out of
Keep
24
your
right
small
approach.
items under the seat in front of you.
Grady out of
These include laptops,
alright.
duty-free, and loose items of clothing.
800.
Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Aircraft 915, cross news, and to maintain level 270.
Alright, got ActiveSky back, showing precipitation, low precip, so that huge, I guess, thunderstorm has passed us. Man, these bags took forever to come. But yeah, we've managed to tweak our settings. Our GPU memory is low for the most part. Obviously, when you start to look at New York City X, it begins to
255 Heavy, New
spike a
York
bit
Center, good
again.
afternoon. Expect by left runway 22 left, Kennedy altimeter 2990.
We are okay for the most part. Go ahead and get the APU started. Seatbelt signs can come on.
After 255, no worries, you can expect I left, runway 22 left approach. The Kennedy altimeter 2990.
So this is what I was alluding to. Generally, going to Orlando southbound from Kennedy or any points north, you would see the departure really straight down over the coast or even over the Atlantic there into Orlando. But as you can see, we've got a number of different cells in our path today, so we've been redispatched around all of it. So that is what's really extending
Good afternoon.
our flight this afternoon.
Now flight level 210.
So we're gonna go really all the way out west, bound around the Cleveland area before we even start to make our way south. We'll keep an eye on the weather. Maybe it'll be cleared up by the time we depart on out of the New York airspace, and we'll just go direct one of these waypoints south of us. But that is the reason for the weird routing today. We're gonna take off
contact 10 miles south of Woodstown, New York,
about 22 right. Gonna be a bumpy climb out, as you can see, but should start to smooth on out.
64, roger that. Sending you the
Yeah, that is the reason for our routing today.
The runway into LaGuardia is 2.
Little 664.
Routing is complete.
It's gonna be stand by 1 minute for the runway. I'll check that for you. The LaGuardia altimeter is 2987.
Roger, thank you.
We're 255 heavy, descend and maintain 9 hours bound.
We're 255 heavy, maintain 9,000.
Simbrief gave you that routing, or you did it? I did it. So John, remember I use flight aware for my routing. I get the routing that the aircraft, the actual flight is doing at that time, because obviously their dispatchers are planning their routing based on weather and all that stuff going on. If you left it to flight Simbrief, it wouldn't have given you that.
Looking at taxi 4 left with you for departure. Which walking 7122.
Alright, we've got our load sheet.
Good afternoon, sir. Runway 4 left, taxi via Bravo and
Only
Delta.
6.5.
2987.
Taxi Bravo Delta.
32.9.
Little 664, yeah, you can expect ILS runway 22 approach to that side.
So 664, roger that. Expecting ILS 22 into
We'll
LaGuardia.
accept that.
New York Center, report to your flight 1080 flight level 670.
Yeah, I never
Frontier flight 1080, New
use
York
the
Center, good
Simbrief
afternoon.
routing.
Clock
I mean,
7,
85 to 90% of the time, John, it is exactly the same as the true flight is doing at that time, but a lot of the times it's not. QNH 2988. Temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Estimated takeoff weight 137.6. Alright, that's sent. I am ready to get on out of here.
Control,
Get those fuel pumps on.
I'm sorry, but 2 to left. So short for me.
Get in my seat here.
Yeah, for 255, we can descend and maintain 3000, and a
Off
firm is going to
cabin
be
door.
ILS 22 officer.
Cockpit door, rather. Prepare for pushback and departure.
Frontier 1080, about a contact 20 miles south of Robbinsville, New York, audible 370. Welcome.
How's my volume, folks? The video that I did yesterday, I realized the aircraft was actually drowning out my voice. I've tweaked the mic a little bit, but I'm going to make sure it's not too loud and that you guys aren't picking up too much of the background noise.
Super 255 heavy. Alright, sir, 255 heavy, what runway would you like?
Cool, thanks, John.
for 255 Heavy, you broke up there a second. What runway would you like?
Maybe 3-1 left.
Alright, Speedbird 255 Heavy, confirm you said 3-1 left there? Is that what you want?
Should be fine.
Yeah, 3-1 left.
Through 255 Heavy. Yeah, we can make that work, sir. Turn left heading 220, so to maintain 4000, vector 5 left, 3-1 left.
There 2-3-1 right.
The tug is in position, the bypass is inserted, and we are ready to push. Okay, it looks like the apron is clear.
Alright, for 255 Heavy, you
Alright,
requested runway
before
3-1
start,
left,
check
sir.
this.
Is that
Windows and
correct?
doors.
Because now you went
closed
back
and
3-1
locked.
right.
Ear pins and covers removed. Signs on auto. Thrust levers are idle. ADRSs are nav. Beacon on.
Alright, so 255 Heavy,
Ready to
island
go.
3-1 left, just want to maintain 3,
Clear
question
for
4
engine
down.
start.
We've got our performance numbers. Flexing is 67. 2 down, 0.4.
Frontier 1080, cross news after maintain flight 270.
News by level 270, Frontier Flight
And flex.
Total 664 looks like you're coming in slightly high, just want to maintain 7 down for next flight.
129.
Girls, good morning and a very warm welcome to your
132.
flight today. My name is Norman. It's my pleasure to introduce the rest of the crew today. Working with the front, we have Tim. In the center, very shortly is Carl.
Total
And up here,
Looks good.
664
is John. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for your comfort, but primarily
Get engine 2 started.
with that in mind, please, we do ask.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the voice is breaking up a bit because, alright, all back on frequency, just stand by 1 minute, I'm just going to restart the whole voice client here. I'm not sure if we have problems with the voice right now. Because
Emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle.
I know I
And
have
2
the
at the front.
JetBlue sound pack
664,
installed. I'm not
seven
sure.
Floor
down.
lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be
Oh,
aware
you're
that your
listening
nearest
to
exit
Norman.
may be
4 down to 7,000 expedited.
in an emergency move forward.
Pushback is complete. Set your parking brakes, please, and confirm.
Brakes are set.
And release as shown. It must be
New York Center, American 1837's 10 south of ESO out of 13.5.
American 1837, New York Center, radar contact as reported, just want to maintain 10,000, fully altimeter 2984.
Right down to 10,000, American 1837.
and loud. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If you land on
It's a good start on 2. Starting engine
Tug
1.
is disconnected, Captain, and clear. Bypass pin has been removed.
click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by
American
pulling the toggle.
1837, expect ILS
If it fails to inflate or needs topping up,
ILS
blow
27
into
right,
the
American
tube.
1837.
There is a light and whistle for
Clear left
attracting
and right.
attention.
Canadair
Disconnected
22,
now.
also carry flotation
ILS
aids for
runway
children.
27 right approach today.
Your tray table must now be
27 right
stowed,
approach, Canadair
arms down,
234.
window blinds open, and seatbelts fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight.
Alright, so that's our ground crew, and we've got 2 good starts. flaps 2. Down 0.4. Auto brake max. It's terrain on ND. Engine mode selector normal. Get our weather radar and our predictive wind shear APU bleed. APU.
United 1091 holding short full left. We are ready for takeoff.
United 1091.
We'll roll up to Alpha Delta here.
Fly heading 060, runway 4
Flight controls check.
060, clear
full
takeoff full left. 1091
Center.
rolling.
Pull down. Center. Full left.
Follow 664, fly heading
Center.
040, vectors to final.
That's full right. That's center. Rudder.
Running 040, vector
Full left. Center.
Super 255 heavy, turn left heading 180.
Full right. Center. Alright, cool. We'll taxi up to here and hold short and call for our taxi instructions. And New York JetBlue 183 is short of Alpha rated taxi 22 right.
JetBlue 183 New York, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha, Delta Bravo, Charlie and Echo, cross runway 31 right.
Taxi via Alpha Delta Bravo Charlie Echo, cross 31 right. JetBlue 183, thanks. Alright, taxi lights on. Looks like our cabin crew is ready.
Heavy, you're requesting our flight to Dublin.
Ready.
Shamrock 104 heavy, New York Center.
Thank you, Norman.
Clear to Dublin Airport. Kennedy 5 departure. Later vector Mavis. And then
Clear right. No, clear left.
Maintain 5000. Expect audible 390, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 7151.
And Shamrock 104, we're clear to Dublin, JFK-4, JFK-5 departure, Marriott transition, and solid, finish flight 5,390 showing after departure.
Clear left and right.
Shamrock 104 heading.
Shamrock 104 heading way back, Rex. Expect runway 22 right, advise ready to taxi.
Oh, that's actually
1091 heavy, about a contact, call maintain 17 down.
going the wrong way here.
Level 664, that's what I maintain 4000.
664 down to 4,000.
American 1837, that's what I maintain 7000.
7,000 American.
Should have crossed that echo, but whatever.
1080, contact Boston Center, 134.7, full time.
134.7 frontier flight 1080 net.
TBM 051 Tango, 30 York Center, second. 1 Tango, you're loud and clear, sir. TBM 1 Tango, roger, Puerto Rican National Airport, Peterborough to departure, radar vector Big E, then installed.
Alright, we're coming up on the runway.
Expect audible.
So our takeoff config, we're cleaning at 205.
0 minutes after the departure, that's how I just gave you today. And squawk 7142.
I will see you folks airborne.
TBM 1 Tango, way back, correct, Peterborough better 2986, expect runway 1, advise ready to taxi. India 1 Tango Tango. It's gonna have to be runway 6 in that case, because Newark is,
Get those packs off.
runway 6, sir.
CARA.
Thank you.
Looks good.
We're 255 seconds. River 255 right here, turn left, heading 020.
So again, this is a vector departure. And JetBlue 183, short 22 right, ready to go.
JetBlue 183, fly runway heading, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Fly runway heading 22 right, clear for takeoff, JetBlue 183.
Canada Air 22.
That's strobes, runway turn-offs.
Heading 100, vectors to final, just wanna maintain 6,000.
Maintain 6,000, Canada Air 2234.
American 1837, just wanna maintain 3,000.
Down to 3, American 1837.
Delta 664, turn 10 degrees left, just wanna maintain 3,000.
Left 030, down to 3,000, Delta 664.
United 1091, direct American.
Direct American.
Alright, we are stable. Take off. Start the clock. So thrust set, Manflex 67 SRS, runway auto thrust is blue. Bit of a left rudder, keep us straight. That looks good. Positive rate gears coming up.
Reporting some light rain currently.
See the rain showers on the ND. Thrust climb, open climb, alt loop.
New York Center, Index 3194, flight 330.
Delta 24, correction, Delta 3194, New York Center, hello sir, IDA.
New York Center, good afternoon, JetBlue 317 with you, descending through 12,000 feet for
Bit choppy.
JetBlue 317, New York Center, good afternoon sir, expect ILS runway 22 left, Kennedy altimeter 2986.
Lifted out of JetBlue 317.
So New York City.
255 heavy, just want to maintain 2,000.
Simply gorgeous.
United 1091 heavy, contact Boston Center 134.7, sir.
Boston 347, thanks ATC, and have a good day, cheers.
Delta 3194, better contact 30 miles southwest of Robbinsville, New York, level 330, welcome.
We'll start to level off. And New York, JetBlue 183, 4.75 thousand, runway heading.
Super 255 heavy, flying 340, intercept 31 left localizer. JetBlue 183, radar contact, turn left heading 070, calm maintain 17,000.
Left 070, 17,000. JetBlue 183.
Right,
left turn.
Calling there, second.
Cleaning, flaps up.
American 1140 New York Center, good afternoon sir, I can expect a pre-departure clearance CSX. Super 255
almost
heavy,
disarm.
cross Dax after about 2000, clear
His
island,
lights
runway
off.
31 left approach.
Bit bumpy here. We cleaned a little earlier than we should have, but we're fine.
New York, Jeopardy 2318.
Triple 2318, New York, go ahead.
2318, the return spot.
I'm gonna give this to the autopilot.
Triple 2318, clear Boston Airport, Kennedy 5 departure. Radar vectors, mirrors, Savannah South. Maintain 5000. Expect portable 210.
Frame rates and GPU memory holding steady, looking good.
Squawk 7147.
Alright, that's Boston County 5 Merit, 5,210, 7147 for Jeopardy 2318.
2318, you'll be back correct. Expect our way 22 right, advise ready to turn.
We'll call, Jeopardy 2318.
Delta 664, turn right at angle 130.
Delta 64, heading 130.
Tour 255 heavy ATD call, sir. Tour 255 heavy, roger, 1, 2.
Told you folks that it would be choppy, it certainly is.
Question runway 31 left, clear on.
That's 10,000. Landing light off.
1837, so left heading 360,
This is the cabin
vector
crew.
to final.
Keep your seatbelt signs on. Again, it is choppy up here.
Canada Air 2234, to want to maintain 4,000.
Maintain 4,000, Canada Air 2234.
Triple 317, to want to maintain 9,000. Triple 183, gliding 030, climb maintain portable 387.
Left 030, 380 for the altitude. If I have RealTurb, no, I didn't put it in because supposedly it's not really compatible yet.
Together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept
That thing is a pain to install, man. You gotta install it, download all of the fixes. I'd rather do it one time and be done with. So until they release the updates that's needed for it to work in V5, I'm not gonna
maintain 3,000 full established, clear island runway 22 approach.
so what you're seeing right now is just pure ActiveSky turbulence.
4x.190 established and cleared runway 22 approach.
Don't like the writing for traffic going through your flight there. Yeah,
300 to intercept 27 right, local American 1837.
Canada Air 2234, flying 090.
I like to leave it there because
090, Canada Air 2234.
I like to know where these aircrafts are, but we can turn them off.
New York Center, this is JetBlue 5. I need permission for pushback.
JetBlue 5, New York Center, hello sir. Push and start at your discretion and the state.
Because when ATC telling you an Airbus A321 is sending, you know,
yes, Roger.
the 8,000 for 6,000 at your 3 o'clock, it's not like in the real world you can just look out your window and see. The sim makes it a lot harder to do that, so I like to have the text there. No, it's cool because it's, I don't like it either, I just do it out of necessity.
1837, cross Jalto after about 2,100, clear island runway 27 right approach, and maintain 180 on board radar.
Through the thick of it now?
Alright, Jalto at or about 2100.
So we're going to make a left turn shortly right over the heart of New York City, so if we're going to see CPU spikes, that's where we'll see it for sure, especially with these clouds and this overcast.
Center, GBM 051 Tango Tango, ready for taxi at Peterborough. Advise you can take runway 6 at Toliss.
3M. 1 Tango Tango, sounds good. Clear runway 6 at Golf, taxi to the Alpine Golf. And check the squawk 7142 when you get a shot.
Pushing to 7142 now. Papa Golf, runway 6 to 2 feet. 2 feet side. Final approach runway 31.
Yes, we're 255 ready. You already have a landing clearance, I believe, sir.
But yeah, to me, again, the True Sky needs work, but I think overall it's pretty decent. Again, like I was saying in my video yesterday, to get these type of shaders and atmospheric conditions, these clouds and whatnot, you would need tomato shade, reshade, PTA, all that stuff, you name it. Left direct D's, JetBlue 183.
Canadair 2234, turn right heading 240, step 27 right, low 5.
So the fact that you're able to essentially get this out of the box, obviously it's impacting your frames and your memory and whatnot, but I don't know, I think it's pretty neat.
22 right, taxi to right Alpha, Delta Bravo, Charlie, and Echo, cross runway 31 right.
I think once you figure out, you know, those perfect settings for your hardware and your sim and the add-ons that you're running, it'll definitely be well worth it.
317, that's going to maintain 7 down.
7,000 suggested 37. New extender Shamrock 104 Heavy, ready for taxi.
Shamrock 104 Heavy, runway 22 right, taxi via Delta Bravo, Charlie, and Echo, cross runway 31 right. And when he gets the chance, check the squawk 7151.
22 right, via Delta Bravo Charlie across runway 31, and we'll check the squawk again, 7151, Shamrock 104.
Super 55 heavy, no worries at all, sir. Turn left heading 170, call maintain 3000. Triple 317, fighting 320, vectors to final.
Fly heading of 320, reduce to 37.
JetBlue 183, clear direct Salzburg, DOR, Papa Sierra Bravo, rest of your route remains unchanged.
Clear direct Papa Sierra Bravo, rest of the route unchanged, JetBlue 183.
And then JetBlue 2318, ready for taxi, team 20.
JetBlue 2318, are we 2
So it cleared us,
Alpha, Delta Bravo, Charlie, and Echo, cross runway 31 right.
What's that waypoint?
Okay, Alpha Delta Bravo Charlie, Echo cross 2 and right for JetBlue 2318.
Phillipsburg.
Canadair 2234, I don't think you're going to make the ILS there. The full airport is at your 1 o'clock, 8 miles advice, you have it inside.
We have it in sight. Canadair 234, I'm going to try to make it down the ILS.
Canadair 2234, alright, sounds good. But in case you need you, declare visual approach runway 27 right. Runway 27 right, clear to land, wind calm.
27 right, clear to land, visual approach, Canadair 2234.
Delta 664, contact liquidity ground 121.7, full sail.
121.7, Delta 664, thank you.
Delta 3194, to maintain audible 270.
He's going to maintain 270, that's 3194.
255 Heavy, roger. SB vector 531 left again, flight present heading. Triple 317, if I don't maintain fleet now.
3000,
American 2539, cross news, as a maintain bubble 270.
Darren Allen, I see you made the jump. If you don't mind me asking, what are you using for model matching? Darren, I am using Fly BVAI, so Boston. Let me not butcher it and actually give you the link. It's the same model matching that I was using in V4. It's by Boston, the Boston ARTCC. They actually got together and created a model matching pack for everyone to use on VATSIM. The link is giving me a bad gateway right now, so their website might be down, but I'll send you the link anyway. You may want to check it out once they're back up. Sorry, ask again. Huh? What do you mean, John?
50 active.
Here, Center Shamrock 104, Heavy, you ready for the departure 22 right?
Oh, no. Darren was asking me what I was using for model matching.
Right, clear for takeoff, runway heading, Shamrock 104 Heavy.
I was using Fly AI, but since Hotfix 2 I don't get it to work. You know, you're probably using you probably ran the installer and it did it automatically for you. I've never been able to get the installer to work, so I do the manual install. So if you do it manually, it should work.
Canada here, 2234, cleared of runway 27 right.
Canada Air 2234, welcome to Philly, join taxiway Juliet to the right, wholesale.
So we kind of we've been able to smooth out a bit here, out of those cells that were kind of shaking us around. Our GPU memory is still holding steady. Our frame rates essentially are still holding steady, so we look good for now. Again, where you're going to see most of those spikes are at your heaviest airports and heaviest sceneries.
Heavy, but on maintain 2000. From Concord 00 to Eddie, New York Center, good afternoon, sir. Squawk 7144, annual loud and clear.
Jump to 2318, we're pretty ready to direct.
2318, runway 22, questions, fly runway heading, runway 22, right, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 50 right, jet blue 2318. Jet blue 002, heavy, walking 714.
Shamrock 104 heavy, better contact, failed to.
Shamrock 104, we're passing 1,700, climbing 5,000.
Shamrock 104 heavy, roger, thanks. Triple 317, turn left heading 250, intercept 22 left local hazard.
We turn left and heading 250, we place 22 left, local hazard, to 37.
Market 2539, contact Boston Center 134.7 today.
34-7 to market 2539, yeah.
Gilbert 255 heavy, turn left heading 040. Shamrock 104 heavy, turn left heading.
Yeah, Darren, no worries. Again, try the manual install. It should work for you. It's not complicated either.
7000, Shamrock 104 heavy.
JetBlue 317, cross roughly after about 3000, clear out left 22 left approach.
Cleared for the left 22 left approach, that's roughly out of 3000.
JetBlue Tango 2723, about a contact, 50 miles south of Upper intersection, audible 380, welcome. Correct, 1140, runway 22 right, line up away. Super 255 heavy, turn left heading 340, intercept 31 left slow kilometer. CBM 1 Tango Tango, radar contact, call maintain audible 220, the altitude. 220 from 2000 right now, so 100. Thank you. Super 255 heavy, turn left heading 340, intercept 31 left slow kilometer. Aircraft Concourse 002 Charlie, radar contact 60 miles west of Fuel Box intersection, audible 592, welcome.
Yeah, so V5 in all its glory or lack thereof. Darren, interested to know what your experience with V5 has been so far.
Super 255 heavy, maintain 2000 full established, clear ILS runway 2, correction runway 3.
I'll tell you what, Latin VFR, Fort Lauderdale and Miami is essentially unflyable. It's ridiculous, and I actually did some research last night, and other folks are finding the same thing. So they definitely need to find a way to allow for their scenery to be a little bit more user friendly.
American 1140 is going to be 2 minutes late for trail space.
But yeah, as I said in my video last night, I think TrueSky is a step in the right direction. Obviously still needs a lot of work. I think it'll be even better once ActiveSky is able to tweak for it and improve their client for it. But we'll see. I just couldn't do V4 anymore. It's yeah, we've got GPU memory issues here on V5, but I couldn't get 4.5 for some reason stable anymore. Not stable because I didn't have CTDs, but performance-wise. Most of the areas that I flew in, especially with FSLabs, I couldn't crack more than 18 to 20 FPS. I've tried complete reinstalls, nothing. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't look at FPS, but I look at FPS once I see that my sim isn't smooth anymore. And between 10 and 18 FPS, you definitely notice it, especially when you're trying to fly an approach and your sim is essentially a slideshow. So V5 overall is smooth. Again, tweak your settings. I will actually, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, because this is technically a payware item that I'm showing you guys. I won't show you everything, but you know what, let me show you guys on this screen. Maybe a little easier. You essentially want to keep your settings, your GPU settings out. No, well, not too high. So your GPU settings here in the red, or these settings that are highlighted in the red, are GPU dependent. So your image and texture quality, obviously your resolution. I'm running 4K, so that definitely is hurting me a bit. Your tessellation factor, your texture resolution. Interesting to know that the scenery objects is not too bad. I mean, they're both GPU and CPU dependent. But these right here will kill you. All of this here, your shadows and your shadow quality. But yeah, definitely go and check out the... If you're struggling with settings like I was and still kind of am, Definitely pick up that V5 guide from RD Presets. It helps helps a lot. Even if you're not matching the settings, the documentation at least highlights a lot of the items in V5 and gives you kind of more information around, you know, which one of the components really taxes your hardware.
American 1140, come up heading 050. Triple 2318, proceed direct to Merritt, contact Boston Center 134.7. Good.
Direct Merritt 3417, Triple 2318, thanks for help.
What's that?
Actually, mine's been pretty good. I haven't had any scenery issues. My black marble light was causing me a little bit of grief, but after hotfix 2 it went away. Interesting. What are your settings like, Darren? And are you running aircrafts like the FSLabs and PMDG and all that stuff? We're approaching 380. Seatbelt signs can come off. Pretty smooth for the most part.
Expect by left runway 22 left approach.
New York Center, Shamrock 664, IFR over to Dublin.
Shamrock 664, New York, good afternoon. You can expect the PDC via service.
Roger, we'll expect PDC.
American 1140, proceed direct to Merritt and contact Boston Center 134.7. Also. Upstairs 7 Charlie Hotel, the 7 maintain, not or no. Triple 2723, living Myers Base, radar services are terminated, frequency change approved, take care.
So FSLabs, yeah, so released I think yesterday afternoon, well, yesterday morning Europe time. A320 only for V5, CDPLC, AOC compatibility added. Well, AOC you've always had, CDPLC compatibility added. You've got the DCDUs added here now. Rework of the cockpit textures. I mean, at its core they essentially look the same, but if you're running V5 you'll definitely notice some differences. The texture quality is definitely a lot more crisp. You've got PBR material, what Lockheed considers PBR. PBR is definitely far better in XPlane, but PBR material added. Somewhat decent. But other than that, nothing else. I mean, they've added a feature around the cabin windows, so above a certain temperature, and if the sun is really shining, you'll notice that the passengers have their window shades down. Looks like some of them do here already. The window shades actually adjust for takeoff and landing as you would during a regular or real flight scenario, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, other than that, nothing. I was really hoping for the Sharklets updates and EFB, the S8 software, all of that stuff I thought was coming with the V5 release, but at its core it's essentially just a compatibility update, so we will have to wait a little while longer for that.
Delta 4946 New York Center, good afternoon. Expect ILS 22 left, Kennedy altimeter 2988.
22 left, 2988. Delta 49.
I had PMDG installed. I just installed the FSLabs this morning, so I made a quick flight. Everything seems to be good, but I haven't done a real flight with it yet. Gotcha. Yeah, let me know what you think. PMDG, because I didn't have V4 installed. I didn't copy it over to V5. I'll just wait till it's compatible. I'm in no rush to fly the NGXU, to be honest. I think these cells have kind of moved out of our flight path. I think I'm going to request direct south now. Actually, we're leaving his airspace shortly. We'll wait a bit and then we'll just head direct south. Diamond Aviation just did a long haul with the 747, went very smoothly with hotfix 2. With hotfix 1, sim would crash when switching from outside view to cockpit view. Gotcha. Yeah, I forgot the 747 was actually compatible. I'll have to install that soon. But glad to know that's straightened out. Are you running moderately high settings? Low settings? What's your setup like?
Delta 4926, just want to maintain 7 down. Air France, Concord 002 Charlie, New York Center, out of here.
Settings are basically high, nothing crazy, I haven't had a chance to tweak it. Gotcha. And you're running True Sky as well? You guys running True Sky?
Yes, 848 New York City. Good afternoon, sir. Fly the Goldman 6 departure, runway 13, cleared for taxi. Flight figure 7, Charlie Hotel, maintain 210 knots or greater. Descend maintain 3000.
Descend maintain 3000. Säger ni speed kvala precis över Charlie Hotel?
Flight figure 7, Charlie Hotel, 210 or greater.
True Sky Clouds on medium, save some VRAM. I'm running i7-9700 with an RTX 2060 Supra. Yeah, you've got, what's it, kick-ass PC.
002 Charlie, pulse discretion, descend maintain flight level 29 and are you able to accept the level 5 arrival today into Washington, Dulles?
I've got my True Sky Clouds on high. Could probably knock it down to medium. Help me with some of the performance here.
Thank you, sir. Figure 255, roger, thanks for flying. We'll see you later. Sorry, sir, 255, what did you say in first place? I thought you just said you're on the blocks, right? Oh, alright, I see. So 255, yeah, you can just enter the ramp wherever you wish, sir. It's at your discretion. Delta 4926, turn right heading 320, one able, reduce speed to 210.
Right 320 and speed 210, Delta 4926. Center 1 Tango Tango.
1 Tango Tango, New York, go ahead.
Keeping an eye on the storm cell here that's developing out to my say 2 o'clock here. Can I get a deviation of about 15 degrees to the left?
Give me a 1 Tango Tango, of course, turn 50 degrees to the left, and advise when you're ready to go back on course again.
15 degrees to the left, thank you very much.
What's your weather engine? I've got ActiveSky. ActiveSky beta.
Stand by 1 minute, sir. Flight figure 7, Charlie Hotel, turn left heading 250, intercept 22 left localizer.
Left 250 and
Delta 4926, descend maintain 3000.
Maintain 3000, Delta 4926.
At 848, radar contact. I think you missed the Goldman 6 departure there, sir. Turn right heading 300, no delay, please.
You have to wait for Hi-Fi to send your license key since FS shop. Oh yeah, that sucks.
800, clear left 22 left approach, and maintain 180 knots or greater until Alpha.
18000 until Salto and 180 until Salto at 7 Charlie Hotel
Triple 183, leaving airspace, radar services are terminated, frequency change approved, have it going.
183 over to Unicom, we'll see you. Thanks for running up today.
Take care.
Alright, so we're out of New York's airspace. I'm going to start to head south. I think those cells that we were rerouted for have gone. Let's make our way south. Let's crank up the speed. We've been in here about 38 minutes and we've made no headway towards Orlando, but weather will do that for you in aviation. Let's actually go direct. Let's go direct laid. I think I have laid. There we go. Insert that. So, David, you must have purchased ActiveSky a long time ago if it was on FS Pilot Shop. Is the key not in your inbox or anything that you could use? Actually, we'll go direct spa. Welcome, good afternoon, those of you just joining and tuning in. First Prepared 3D version 5 stream, we're on hotfix 2. Still trying to play around with our settings here to get the best performance and visuals as possible. We are running TrueSky. We've got our settings moderately high. Our GPU memory holding 5.6 out of 10.1 at the moment, so pretty smooth. We had some issues on the ground at Kennedy that required me to do some tweaking, but other than that, we're fine so far. We'll see what it looks like as we make our way into Florida. We've been able to install Orlando, Taxi to Gates Orlando scenery in V5. It's working relatively well, so we're utilizing that. My other Florida scenery is not so much. We've got Latin VFR for Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and it is essentially unflyable. You're even with most of the things turned off in the config, it just spikes the hell out of your GPU memory. I've not been able to even depart out of that airport. Forget depart, I haven't been able to even sit on the ground at that airport, so don't know if that's you guys' experience as well, but it's essentially unflyable for me. We've been able to try out Los Angeles. The Los Angeles area has been historically heavy on performance, but we did a flight last night from there to Fly Tampa Vegas, which is also another heavy airport, and that was pretty smooth, no issues there. One of our next big tests will be Fly Tampa Boston. That has known to notoriously be a performance killer. So we'll try that out, but we did Heathrow to Zurich yesterday with loads of AI traffic on from VATSIM. That held up pretty well. So all these those sceneries that generally again are historically taxing on your sim in previous P3D versions have essentially been pretty smooth here in V5, but again, I can't get to Miami and Fort Lauderdale by Latin VFR to work. It's completely terrible. Skyhawk Sim Pilot, how you doing? Good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. We've got 507 on our ground speed and heading southbound to towards Florida finally. Again, hopefully those cells have vacated from our flight path. That essentially is making our flight a little bit longer than usual. But we're headed on course now for Florida. Darren, you actually run your flights in from a laptop, i7-8700, 32 gigs of RAM, GTX 1070, a couple 1 terabyte SSDs. Wow, and you're getting decent performance in V5. That's pretty good. Welcome, those of you just joining. We are here in Prepared 3D version 5 in the FSLabs A320, newly released FSLabs A320. Yesterday, pretty smooth fight so far on our way down to Florida. We've had a couple of VRAM issues on the ground there at Kennedy that we have since taken care of. Again, the majority of these flights here for me here on out will be around tweaking and getting the sim to perform and while looking as good as possible here. But so far so good. Some folks here in the thread have been sharing their thoughts and, you know, kind of what they're doing to get their sim to perform well, so I appreciate any other insight that you folks may have. Definitely is extremely helpful and insightful. DC Center, JetBlue 183, we're with you, flight level 380. We are direct Spartanburg at this time.
JetBlue 183, Washington Center, good afternoon, squawk island. JetBlue 183, thanks, radar contact 37 miles east of Morgantown, flight level 380, welcome aboard.
And position checks, thank you. JetBlue 183. Darren, you're building a new system, Ryzen 3900X, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes, NVMe 4.0 RTX 2080 Ti. That's it's gonna be a pretty nice rig. You're preparing for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020.
Paper 32 November, approved, report back.
Good afternoon, American 4621 with you, climbing to flight level 21.
American 4621 Washington Center, hello, when able, reset transponder squawk 0502.
Squawk 0502 for American 4621.
Washington Center, JetBlue 2, flight level 350. JetBlue 2, Washington Center, good afternoon, you can proceed direct CIO, Sierra, India, Echo. CIO, JetBlue 2. American 4621 radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 190 direct A-guard.
Climb and maintain 190 direct A-guard, American 4621.
Anyone use cinematics yet? And with Chase Plane? No, it's a new feature. I haven't been able to give it a shot yet.
Paper 32 November, roger, thanks.
Center, good afternoon, TBM 051 Tango Tango 6000, heading 240.
TBM 051 Tango Tango, Washington Center, good afternoon. Vectors ILS runway 1 at National, the Reagan altimeter 2985.
Vectors 1, we actually had to deviate for a storm here just north of Baltimore here. I'm currently on this current heading. When available, can you give me a vector for that ILS, please?
TBM 51 Tango Tango, roger. You can turn left heading 210 and just maintain 6000 for now.
Unable 210, can we proceed on our present heading for the time being so we get past this storm?
TBM 51 Tango Tango, firm, just let me know when you're able to resume southbound.
Copy that, we'll advise when able for 1 Tango Tango.
Center, how you doing? Envoy,
So that that TBM is having issues
Envoy
with
9802.
those storm cells down there by Baltimore, which is why again our routing took us west before we were able to head south, because there's a lot of cells, active cells here in the area. But we should be good for the rest of our flight as we continue to make our way southbound. We'll cross into Atlanta's airspace. We'll be there for the majority of the time before we hit Jacksonville.
Can we get to 5,000 feet instead of 6,000?
TBM 1 Tango
But
Tango,
yeah,
away from me.
nothing like flying in the
5,000, 1 Tango Tango.
the summertime here in the States. Lots of storms pop up and about, especially here on the East Coast.
On departure, flight only heading Vectors Charleston, then as filed. Maintain 7,000, expect flight level 280, 10 minutes after departure. Departures with me, squawk 0503. Runway 9802, correct, Wilmington altimeter 2986.
Washington Center, JetBlue 29er, Kilo Tango. We would like to request direct Harcum VOR to avoid weather formations here, so we're looking at heading 1905, more or less.
JetBlue 29er, Kilo Tango, that's approved direct Harcum.
Direct Harcum 29er, Kilo Tango, thank you.
DC Center, good afternoon, Envoy 9801 at Wilmington, request IFR down to Hilton Head.
Envoy 9801, Washington Center, good afternoon, cleared to Hilton Head on departure. Flyer we're heading, Vector Creo then is filed, maintain 7,000, expect flight level 320, 10 minutes after departure. Departure with me, squawk 0504.
0504 and 7,000 initially for 9801.
Envoy 9801, correct, Wilmington altimeter 2986.
Center, 1 Tango Tango.
TBM 1 Tango Tango, good.
How are you wanting to you said runway 1, correct?
Affirm ILS runway 1.
ILS runway 1, where do you want the vector ascent from?
Will be from Katrine, Kilo Alpha Tango, Romeo November.
Yeah, Darren, that's cool, man.
TBM 1 Tango Tango, are you able to
That is
turn
cool.
southbound?
Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 should be
go ahead and bring us in for 1 Tango Tango.
interesting.
Tango,
Alpha
fly
shots
heading
look great,
190,
but we'll see what happens.
1 190 will maintain 5 for 110 Apologies for making things difficult. We were kind of getting rocked there for a minute.
No worries at all. Delta 375, turn left heading 250, descend and maintain 4,000.
Left 250 and down to 4,000 for Delta 375.
American 4621, when ready, descend to cross Corrie 10,000, LaGuardia, altimeter 29084.
Okay, we'll descend initial of the 10,000, 29084 for LaGuardia, American 4621.
Center off 19802, ready for taxi, too far.
Envoy 9802, say again.
19802, ready for taxi.
There's that
Envoy 9802, Roger, runway
sudden weather change that
taxi, your discretion, report ready for departure.
is still an issue with TrueSky and ActiveSky beta. Generally in previous versions you'd get that nice transition, but it kind of just pops in on you, almost similar to what XPlane's weather system does, or ActiveSky and XPlane. So definitely still some stuff to work through.
Washington Center, hello. Delta 1962. Passing, reaching 17,000 direct Mooley.
Delta 1962, Washington, hello, direct Frost, climb and maintain flight level 370.
Direct Boros and auditor.
And climb flight level 370.
370. Okay, Delta 1962.
Delta 375, turn right heading 300, descend and maintain 3000.
It's 300, descend and maintain 3000, Delta 75.
TBM 1 Tango, descend and maintain 3000.
That's 3000 for 1 Tango 10.
Washington Center, Envoy 9801, ready to taxi, runway 24, Roman.
Envoy 9801, following your company traffic, runway 24, taxi, your discretion. Report ready for departure.
Back to my discretion, we'll follow the company traffic on correction 9801.
Delta 375, 3 miles from Katrine, turn right heading at 340. Maintain 2000 to establish cleared ILS approach runway 1.
Right to 330 down to 2000 for the ILS 01 for Delta 275.
Washington Center, Southwest 2226, 9,600, climbing 17,000.
Southwest 2226, Washington Center, very good afternoon. Climb and maintain flight level 260, direct JRS.
Direct JRS, flight level 260, thanks, Southwest 2226.
Speedbird 32 November, contact Boston Center 134.7.
134.7, Speedbird 32 November.
TBM 1 Tango Tango, turn right heading 240.
Right, 240, 1 Tango Tango.
Delta 3.
Welcome folks, those of you just tuning in, prepared 3D version 5 FSLabs Airbus A320.
Delta 375, thanks, wind
Still here.
0107, runway 1, clear to land.
Running through, the best settings here to match our performance and visuals. So far, we've been able to remain, for the most part, stable. But definitely tweaking as we go here. Running TrueSky with ActiveSky beta. Doesn't look too great right now, to be honest, but there's definitely times where, or most of the times, that it actually looks pretty decent. Hopefully with some new...
JetBlue 183, leave my airspace to the South Atlanta Center offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
183 over to Unicom, thanks for your help, we'll see ya. Hopefully with some ActiveSky updates and some further updates to TrueSky from Lockheed, we'll be able to see some real good stuff come from this. Darren, I believe I am. Let's see, ActiveSky version 7479, which was June 23rd, and I installed this after that. So yeah, I'm on the latest. Plus, if I wasn't, I think I have the prompts that would let me know when there was a new release, so it would have updated for me. Alright, we're looking good. Roughly 430 miles to top of descent, 1728, so roughly an hour till top of descent. Making good headway into Orlando. As we get a little closer, we'll pull the latest weather report, but in terms of the active radar and whatnot that I'm looking on right now, pretty clear skies all the way down, so don't expect any additional turbulence or anything like that, so that's pretty good. Checking on our CPU, we are still holding steady, 5.5 out of 10.1, or GPU rather. So it looks good there. We've still got ActiveSky popping clouds in and out here with TrueSky. Reflecting partly cloudy, but again, it's definitely still a work in progress. Other than that, Sim's performing well. Forgot to mention I am also running NVTEX, I forgot however you say it. So I'm not sure if that's conflicting with TrueSky and ActiveSky as well. I did run the P3dV5 compatibility patch for NVTEX, so I don't think so, unless I didn't run it correctly, but yeah, so I don't know if that has something to do with some of the inconsistencies that we've been seeing with TrueSky here. Welcome, those of you just tuning in. We are in the latest FSLabs A320 release with P3dV5. Checking out and still tuning our performance settings and our visuals. Get the right mix here and make sure we're not spiking our GPU. So far it's been a pretty smooth flight. We had some issues down in Kennedy earlier on, but we were able to tweak some of our settings and get things back on track. GPU memory showing 5.5 out of 10.1 right now. I'm averaging about 40 to 50 frames per second here at cruise. Partly cloudy skies, and again in the FSLabs Airbus A320 I've got frames unlocked, so not terrible. We are running ActiveSky beta, obviously, and again like I said, True Sky. Some funny things going on here with True Sky, but that's it's still in its infancy stages, so we hope and expect to see some updates to it in the near future. But other than that, it kind of likes the effects that it gives to the sim, so we continue to leave it on for the most part. We're on our way down to Orlando. It'll be taxi to gate to Orlando scenery, to be honest, way back from the, I think, P3D version 3 days. So we've been able to manually install that in V5 and get that running okay. We are on VATSIM. We had air traffic control on for when we left New York, and we had DC Center on for a while, but we've since left airspace. We're in Atlanta's airspace right now, making our way southbound to the Florida area. I do not see Jacksonville actually is online, so we'll pick up Jacksonville in roughly, looks like anywhere from 45 to 55 minutes. So we've still got a little bit of ways to go, about halfway there now. Continue to tune in here. Again, those of you running V5, feel free to share your settings and tweaks and some of the other things that you all may be doing to get it to run smoothly. Some turbulence there. We're actually going to go ahead and we'll bump our speed down and get the seatbelt signs back on. Picking up some turbulence from these showers here in the area.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to turbulence, would you please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt? For your comfort and safety, hot beverages will not be served while the seatbelt sign is on. Please do not use the toilets until the captain switches off the seatbelt sign.
Seems like we have smoothed out for now. I'll go ahead and get these signs back off. Probably was just a rough pocket of air there. Alright folks, we are making good time down into Orlando. About an hour and 37 minutes into the flight. Those of you just joining, we actually had a different routing than we traditionally would have going down to Orlando. There are a bunch of storms in the northeast around the New York, DC, and Baltimore area, so we actually departed to the west first. Out towards, here I'll show you guys. We actually departed to the west first, out towards Cleveland before we began to head south. Before we begun to head south, so we're still in Atlanta's airspace. We'll be crossing into Jacksonville here in about 30 minutes or so, and then into Orlando. I'm not sure if these cells are still here. We'll see as we get closer. But Orlando, I think, is still landing south. In a few moments, we'll pull up the latest weather information there and active runways as we prepare for our arrival in. But in the meantime, continue to sit back, relax, ask any questions that you may have around V5, any comments about V5. And again, this is the latest FSLabs Airbus A320 release.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Delta 465, contact Washington Center 133.72.
Over to Washington, Delta 465, thanks for the help and have a great day.
You too.
Jacksonville, good afternoon. JetBlue 183, flight level 380, north of Onion.
JetBlue 183, Jack Center, hello, squawk 1056.
1056, JetBlue 183.
Number 2, Hotel Tango, descend and maintain 2000. The top altimeter is 29906.
Descend maintain 2000 and altitude 29996, November 442, Hotel Tango.
JetBlue 813, let's see, radar contact. Approximately 65 miles northwest of Savannah BOR, flight level 380, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you, JetBlue 183. So it looks like Orlando has switched to northern flows, so we can probably expect 36 left. So we'll go ahead and update that accordingly.
November 633 Charlie, radar contact, maintain BFR out of below 5,500.
Thunderstorms in the area still.
Maintain BFR out of below 5,500 and 3,300, 633 Charlie.
And 633 Charlie, do you need flight following somewhere?
That's negative, I'm just going to keep special VFR in the class Charlie and Echo as long as I need it. I'm headed to Orangeburg, 633 Charlie.
So we can probably take the RNAV 36 left. Go ahead and update that. We will change it here on plan as well. And we've got to update our McDo to have us crossing bugs at 12,000. We'll do that in a second. 3-6 left. Minimum's 200 feet, so that's fine. Orlando, I'm going to park gate 12. So I think that's airside 1, if I'm not mistaken, up here. So we'll put that in here. That looks good. Back over here, we will input gate 12 so we don't forget. We'll grab our weather ATIS for Orlando. First of all, bugs, again 12,000, so get that in there. Weather, so Orlando 360 at 12, so that North Ops flow makes absolute sense. 4 statute of a mile. We've got thunderstorms and rain. A few clouds at 16, broken at 49 CBs as well. 23 degrees Celsius. Altimeter 3002. That radio altimeter for 36 left was 200 feet. So that looks good. We're prepped and ready. A little bit early, but that's fine. I like to be ahead of the aircraft and ahead of the arrivals, just in case things get unexpectedly busy. We're about 14 minutes from top of descent. Should be on the ground here in about 45 minutes altogether. Again, a little bit of a longer flight than you would expect from New York to Orlando, but we had to deal with some cells and some storms in the northeast.
633 Charlie, are you on BFR weather now? Yeah, I can see BFR weather, 633 Charlie. And number 633 Charlie, thank you. You are outside the Columbia class Charlie now. Maintain BFR because chances approved. Squawk BFR, good day. Good day, 633 Charlie.
Definitely be interested to see how performance holds up. Again, reporting some pretty bad weather coming into Orlando, so we shall see.
November 442 Hotel Tango, leaving my airspace to the south. Tampa approach is offline. Frequency change is approved. Radar service terminated. Have a good day.
Changing Unicorn 122.80, November 442 Hotel Tango. Thanks for your AT service. Good afternoon, sir.
Envoy 9801, right at the end, Foxtrot to the terminal. Good day.
Alright, the Foxtrot to the terminal, Envoy 9801. Thanks for your page.
Welcome, thank you. JetBlue 183, a pilot's discretion, cross bogs, out of maintain 12,000. The Orlando altimeter is 3002.
At Bugs, pilot's discretion down at 12,000, cross Bugs at 12,000. And copy the altimeter, JetBlue 183. So Bugs, as we suspected and as per the chart, so we've got that dialed in. We've got about 80 miles to go. So again, he gave us pilot's discretion. We'll hold here for a little bit longer and then slowly start our descent on down.
JetBlue 29 Kilo Tango, leaving my airspace to the south. Miami's offline. Frequency change approved. Radar service terminated. Good day.
No further ATC available. Frequency change approved. Stand for your service and Micslmn Kilo Tango.
American 1095. Jacksonville's going to be closing shortly. Frequency change is approved. Radar service terminated. Good day.
Over to Unicom, American 1095.
JetBlue 183. Jax will be closing momentarily. Frequency change is approved. Radar service terminated. Good day.
JetBlue 183 over to Unicom. We'll see you. Thanks. Alright, that was short-lived. So we're on Unicom. We'll once we start down, we'll announce our intentions. Obviously, I don't see anyone else coming into Orlando at the moment, so we should be fine. Got the cells starting to build here to our west. Turbulence will start to set in here shortly, so we'll keep an eye on that, and then we'll get the seatbelt sign on for the rest of the arrival into Orlando for the most part. Our first restriction is bugs. We'll start down here now, 12,000 feet. Looking good. We've got some Invitex textures coming in the water over there. Again, normally on this arrival we'd be a lot closer to the Atlantic Ocean. See a lot more of that. But so far so good. As we continue to get lower here and more of our autogen starts to pop in, we will keep an eye on our GPU memory for sure. Make sure we're not spiking here. Alright, descent profile is looking good here. We're getting shaken up just a bit as we make our way down into Florida. Seatbelt signs can come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Once we cross bugs, I will make my ATC call. Aircraft wants us to slow down. I'm gonna keep our speed up here. Oh, you know what? That's why. Whoops, I changed the charts, but I never changed our arrival runway in the McDo. That's why. It's the RNAV 36 left. And we're just gonna go direct. Bugs at this point. We're crossing bugs at 12,000. Alright, that should do it. Let's bump the speed back up here. No need to slow down this much. But we're looking good, man. We're looking good. Let us run another weather update as we approach our transition altitude. Still got 360 at 23 degrees Celsius, 3002. That looks good. Through our transition, that set and cross-checked. That looks good. We'll go auto brake low. Terrain on ND. Bring that back to 40. Again, we're keeping our speed up here. I'm going to be at 4,000 at X-band. Here comes the turbulence. Let's bring our speed back to 280. We're getting rocked pretty good here. Orlando traffic. JetBlue Airbus A320. We are descending via the Bugs for arrival. Just crossed Bugs at about 12,000, planning the RNAV 36 left. We're about 60 miles from the fields. Orlando traffic. Let's bring us down here. We're getting rocked pretty good here, folks. Let's bring our speed back to 250 indicated. That should help us smooth out this turbulence here a bit. We're through 10,000. Landing lights on, and cabin crew advised to prepare the cabin for arrival. This is out of the box ActiveSky turbulence, by the way. We're not even running RealTurb yet. Godspeed 240. We're getting hammered up here. Let's make our speed 210 indicated if we're really trying to get smooth out here. There's the rain. I'll actually go ahead and activate approach phase now. Watching that GPU memory, we are spiking again as we make our way into the airport. 6.8 out of 10.1. Flaps 1 and speed checks. Trying to keep her slow and steady here. Orlando traffic, JetBlue Airbus A320, we're downwind 36 left at 3,800 feet. Orlando traffic.
Cabin crew seats for landing, please. Hi, it's Norman. Yep, that's the cabin secure for landing. See you on the ground, bye.
Cabin secure, thank you, Norman. Let's make that speed 180. Got a nasty patch right here that we're about to go through. I'm going to start our base turn a bit earlier than that. Let's get down to 1800 now. And flaps 2 speed checks. Orlando traffic, JetBlue Airbus A320, left traffic, 36 left.
2500.
2500 check. On a square out here. Alright folks, I'm gonna mute alerts. Sterile cockpit, I will see you guys on the ground.
$2,000.
Flaps 3, gear down. Accidentally went out of, that was weird. That flop's full. Final approach. Gear down, 3 greens, auto brake low, flaps full, and indicating lights as required. Cabin crew advise. Orlando traffic, JetBlue Airbus A320, 4 mile final for 36 left Orlando traffic. And we've announced our intentions on Unicom and clear to land. My aircraft.
$1,000.
No need to turn on the wipers. For some reason we're not getting any rain effects here on the windshields. So we'll leave those off for now. Bouncing around here, we've got to watch for wind shear. $500 check.
$400. 100 above.
See some funny things happening with the grass textures. Again, this airport is not fully compatible with V5, so just gotta bear with it.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, retard, 10, 5.
And we're down. Spoilers. Decel reverse green. It's 70 knots. We'll keep rolling. There's the rain effects. Exit here to the right. And we're okay to clean up. That is 2 hours and 31
the cabin
minutes.
crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However,
not terrible.
until the fastened seatbelt sign has been switched on, portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be
Orlando traffic, triple Airbus A320 crossing 36 right.
pocket,
Orlando
underneath the
traffic.
seat, and in the overhead locker. Please take care of smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and crew, it's been our pleasure to have you today. Our drive crew will complete your trip.
Alright. Strobe off, APU on. Runway turn off on. We'll get that on the taxi. Can get rid of weather and predictive wind shear. Wasn't terrible, all things considering. John, autogen loading slowly. It's Orlando. I've always had that issue. It's not really compatible, so because the autogen wasn't loading slow anywhere else on this flight. Negative 281. Not terrible. Could have been softer though. APU. Get that on. Gate 12. I can go to TA. See if you can see the runway markings, taxiway markings, and all that disappearing and popping in and out. So it's not V5. It's Orlando, not compatible for this version. Is all. Alright, we'll stop here. Parking brakes are set. APU is available. That's 2, that's 1. Look at him dancing. Guy more excited about the parking job than I am. Alright, 2 hours and 46 minutes block time. Not terrible. Again, we had to how'd you guys hear that? That's the ground crew knocking on the aircraft to let you know that the APU, I'm sorry, the external power is connected. That is pretty cool. Just one of those lovely touches from FSLabs yet again. That was cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, your portable electronic devices must not be used until you are inside the airfield. When disembarking, please take care and
so
hold on to the handrail.
that's it for us, folks. I think, again, we were able to, we had issues initially when we were at Kennedy. When we first loaded in, we adjusted our settings accordingly, and haven't had any issues since. Pretty terrible weather here in Orlando. Very overcast, as you can see, raining pretty hard, and we're holding steady on our settings. So overall, I'm happy with V5. Really can't complain. We'll continue to tweak as things go here. Feel free to leave you all's comments and tips and suggestions accordingly. Looking forward to doing a lot more recordings and streams in V5. Hopefully the FSLabs shortlists drop soon. That's really what I'm waiting on. Thought that would come with this version of the release, but it did not. So hopefully in a couple weeks. Anyway, we are down. That's going to be it for us this evening. We'll probably do another stream during the weekend. Got a couple of days off where we're just going to relax and probably do some flights offline and continue to tweak accordingly. But until next time, my friends, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye. Mm-hmm.